Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Infernape, and this is my team builder for the NPL Majors, Season 7, Week 5. This week I'm going up against David, aka Magic, and he's the coach of the FC Popplio. So he's taking over for Seb, aka Top Tier Boy, aka Sebastian. So Seb did draft this team, or most of this team that David has, because he made a couple transactions, and then Seb did play the first 2 games, and Seb did lose both those games. So then David came in and he inherited the 0-2 record, and then he lost the next 2 games. Both were pretty close. I think one of them he possibly could have won, or probably could have won, because there were some hacks that did not go his way. But David is right now winless, but that really does not show how good of a player that he is, because he is quite talented. I saw that he did well in the minors last season. He was in the minors this season, but since Seb had to drop, then David's coming up to the majors, and Ethan is taking David's spot in the minors. So David's now in the majors, which is pretty cool. He's looking to get that first win, and I'm hoping to not allow him to get his first win in the majors here. So let me actually go over my team real quickly, because I did make a couple transactions from week 4 to week 5. So I dropped Jolteon and Alamomola, and I picked up Electivire and Vaporeon. So Jolteon and Al were each 9 points, and Vape was 12. Electivire was 16. Or was 6. So the points worked out evenly. I did still have 1 point left over, because when I dropped Rampardos, who was 3, and picked up Misdreavus, who was 2, I still have 1 point left over, so I could have used that if I needed to. But I feel like I made some pretty good made a pretty good transaction. Yeah, it was one move. And I like the mons I got here. Vaporeon is really cool because it's not as passive as Aloe, and also it does get Roar and Haze, which are really nice because my team doesn't like setup, and Aloe can just be set up all over on, I guess. And Aloe is just passive, and it's hard to make Aloe not passive. I kind of did and tried to make Aloe not passive for some things it needed to not be passive against in the weeks that I brought it, but it's really tricky to bring Aloe. I don't like the standard Aloe set with like Wish, Protect, and like Toxic and Waterfall or whatever, and just Wish Pass, and just I don't like that standard kind of set. Just didn't fit my play with this team and how I wanted to approach it. I feel like I get a better Water in Vaporeon, and it's really nice Wish Pass, and it does hit a lot harder than Aloe. Naturally, it's a really good Scald user, as it can just do good damage with Scald, while Aloe really is only going for Scalds to get burns, because Aloe doesn't hit very hard with Scalds. So then I dropped Jolteon and picked up Electivire just because I couldn't keep as many points. Or I had to, I guess, drop a couple points to pick up Vape, and I really liked Vape. So I picked up Electivire because it does cover that speed gap that I had from Infernape to, well, originally Infernape to Togekiss at 108 to 80. Then I did add Misdreavus, which is 85, then Electivire is 95. So that's a pretty good, that gap's a lot smaller now, I guess. And that does help me, because mons like Garchomp, who you do face this week at base 102 speed, and other mons in that area, if they want to outspeed Electivire at max speed, they're going to have to be a plus speed nature. So mons at base 100 or around there can no longer be Modest or Adamant or any plus attack nature. So they're going to have to be plus speed if they want to outspeed Electivire, or even Misdreavus, potentially, depending on what speed they are. So that's really cool. It does cover that speed gap, as well as it does, it's still immune to electric, which is something I wanted in my electric type. It's a pretty nice Volt Switcher. It doesn't hit quite as hard on the special side as on the physical side, but it does get Taunt too, which I really like Taunt. I don't have a whole lot of Taunt users. I have Infernape, and I have now Misdreavus. I think that was it, though. So getting another Taunt user is really helpful, because Taunt's a really cool move. It's a nice mon. It can be a decent wall breaker. It has like 123 attack or something. I think that's it. It gets pretty good coverage as well. Actually, yeah, really nice coverage. Elemental Punches, then Wild Charge, a Stab, and then EQ and Brook Break, I guess that counts. Low Kick, and a bunch of other cool stuff. So Evire's a pretty nice mon. Not as fast as Jolteon, but I do still have a lot of speed. And Selgor at 145, and Zygarde 10% at 115. So that's just the transactions I made. Just wanted to go over that. But now let's get into my team for this week. So. Or I guess I'll talk about the matchup first. So David's got Mew, Garchomp, Tangrowth, Keldeo, Klefki, Pelipper, Mega Swampert, Galvantula, Tornadus Eye, and Houndoom. So that's mostly what Seb drafted. David dropped a couple mons. He picked up, I think, Houndoom and he picked up Klefki as well. So that's good for him. Definitely, I think, helped the team overall. And this team is pretty spooky. You know, it's got Rain offense with Swampert, and then Keldale's decent in the rain too, and also Torn to spam Hurricanes, and then Pelipper can set up the rain, and he's got a pretty nice team. Then he's got Mew, which is just really annoying, and Garchomp, which is a nice wall breaker and really cool and stuff. But that was very vague. That was a bad explanation. But Garchomp's a good mon. You get it. Anyways, so the 6 I expect this game, if I had to limit it to exactly 6, and I think I have a pretty good idea. Definitely Mew. I think very, very high chance Garchomp comes. Klefki, most likely. Those 3 I'm pretty much certain are going to come. The next 3 I'm not quite as certain, but then I think Pelipper's going to come. I think that has a very good chance of coming. In the last 2 slots, not quite certain, but I think Tornide and Mega Swampert. That's what I'm expecting. Those 6, Mew, Garchomp, Klefki, Tornide, Pelipper, Mega Swampert, those 6 are what I expect. Galvantula could be in the mix. It is pretty good in this matchup. Outside of that, I don't really expect any of his other mons. Houndoom doesn't do too much in this game. I have Vaporeon and Snorlax, which can take hits from it. Keldeo just has a bad matchup offensively. I have a lot of checks to Keldeo. Venusaur kind of hard walls it. Vaporeon can take hits. He can do like a sub taunt set. I did see that in a mock. Let me actually thank the people that mocked me real quick. Thank you to Gypsy, Maddie, Omega, and Turk. I believe it was those 4. Thank you to them. Not in that order, but they mocked me, so thank you to them. But yeah, I don't think Keldeo's coming. I don't think Tangrowth is too likely to come, and I don't think Houndoom is too likely to come. So yeah, and he only has 10, not 11 mons. So that intro took a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I'm doing this how Riz does it. He just shows his little showdown background and then gets into his team. That way you don't like see the spoilers immediately, like how I normally do. But yeah, you can see my nice John Cena background here. He's quite a legend. Oh, it didn't go right to the team. Anyways, here's the team. Alright, you didn't see those couple of sets. So let's just get into the first set. So we got IHoppy, Snorlax here. So Facade, Last Resort. Only 2 moves. Seems weird. So holding a Silk Scarf to boost my normal moves, because I only have normal moves. Does that make sense? So he has 1 normal resist in Klefki, which does get 2 KO by Last Resort. Originally I was Choice Banded Last Resort. That was my only move. But then I did my first mock and I realized it doesn't work. And like I can't use it. Like I need to use another move first, then I can go for Last Resort. So I realized that, and then, it can't be banded. I could have been banded Double Edge, which does hit, I think, a little harder than Silk Scarf Last Resort, but I don't want to take that damage from Double Edge, and Last Resort's really spammable, as well as Facade is the same power if I am status, which I could be, because I know he likes Will-O-Wisp Mew, and he could Toxic Mew with something, and maybe even Paralyze with, I don't know, Klefki. So, Snorlax could definitely get status, so Facade's pretty nice. So I do have to go for Facade the first time this thing comes in, every time. But that's okay, because Facade still does a decent chunk, and then I go for Last Resort, which 2 KOs Mew. Any set of Mew, I believe, at 2 KOs. Or it's, like, very close. It has a decent chance to 2 KO, like, max Fizz Def Mew, but I doubt it'll be max. I think he'll have a good amount of Fizz Def, probably max HP, then some speed, and probably Timid. That's what I saw in mocks, and that's what I believe will come. Mew's just really scary this game, though. I think it'll be Calm Mind, Psychic slash Psyshock, probably Psyshock, then Roost, and then either Sub or Taunt in the last slot. Because Calm Mind Mew is really scary this game, because it just really beats most of my team, and it's very hard for my team to beat it. But Snorlax is a nice check to that. The defense is so I can live, I think it's like a Life Orb, maybe live like a +2 Life Orb Earthquake from Garchomp or something. Maybe so I could live like I think a +2 EQ from a non-boosting Garchomp after Rocks, I believe. So that is what Snorlax is here for. Mainly here to check Mew. That's what I want Snorlax to do. If I can keep it in the back, keep it healthy to check Mew, that is phenomenal, and that is what I hope Snorlax can do. Next, let's move on to my Mega Venusaur here. Bringing in a bit of heat here. So we got Giga Drain, Toxic, Weather Ball, and Sunny Day. So the defense, I forget exactly what the EV spreads were for. I might double check them after the game. I think this was also something with Garchomp. Possibly Mega Swampert. That's what this thing's mainly meant to check. Mega Swampert. I think it was maybe so EQ doesn't 2KO me, like after Rocks or something from Jolly, I think. But yeah, Giga Drain, just good stab, hits a lot of things. Toxic can help me whittle down Mew. If I can predict a switch into Mew and then get a Toxic off from that, that would be phenomenal, because then it is a lot less of a Calm Mind threat, or of a sweeping threat as a probably Calm Mind user. I don't think he'll have room to run Heal Bell or Sleep Talk on Mew, and I don't think he's in their Heal Bell users. I don't think. Tangrowth might get Aromatherapy. I'll double check on that, but I don't think it does. And he does not have any other Heal Bell users, unless I'm totally missing something. So if I can Toxic Mew, it should be Toxic for the whole game. But I like Venusaur as a Toxic user, because Mew has Synchronized, but I'm a Poison type, so I cannot get Synchronized poisoned from Toxic. So that's really cool. So Weather Ball plus Sunny Day is a cool tech. It's mainly for Klefki. So Klefki is annoying. It can set up spikes versus my team, which is just something that my team does not like. I only have 2 mods on my whole roster that are off the ground, and I'm bringing one of them this week. And I only have one Defogger / Spinner, which is Tochkis, which I am bringing. But still, Klefki is annoying to set spikes, and just if I don't really bring this, or I guess I could bring Hidden Power Fire, but if I don't bring that, then Klefki is pretty annoying, and I can't hit it super hard. I mean, I could bring HP Fire, but I think this is a cool tech, as in the rain, I can still hit other stuff pretty hard, and a Sunny Day boosted Weather Ball does hit me harder than Giga Drain, so that's pretty nifty. But essentially, how I'm planning to play this out is I can just probably go for Toxics and Giga Drains on Klefki, make him think that I don't really have much to hit him, then eventually whip out the Sunny Day and the Weather Ball, and hopefully either get rid of the Klefki or just get some very solid damage on it, or even just in rain versus a lot of things. They still don't appreciate taking a Weather Ball. That would then be Water type. It still hits a lot of stuff pretty hard, so that's really nice. And then some Spadef. I think I'm invested in Fizz Def, so I can take a hit, and then the rest in Spadef, I believe. No speed, because I don't think I need any kind of... I might want some for Pelipper and kind of want some there, but I don't think I need it, so I'm just going as bulky as possible. And on Tochkis, I'm running the same speed as Venusaur. That way, if something has to be Venusaur, I know it has to be Tochkis. Barring a speed type, but let's hope that doesn't happen. So Air Slash, Defogger's Teal Bell. Enough Spadef, so I believe a Sludge Bomb from Life Orb Torn Eye does not 2KO me. The Poison is a possibility, but let's hope he doesn't get that, and if he does get the Poison, let's hope he's not Life Orb. But Torn Eye is really spooky. This is a pretty good check to that. Not a great one because it still hits really hard with Life Orb Hurricanes, but Vaporeon's also a nice check to that. But Air Slash, just good stab, hits most things. Defog is meant to Keldeo, or not Keldeo. Klefki cannot spam spikes versus me. I mean, he can, but I can defog him, and they won't be super annoying versus my team. Roost keeps me healthy. Heal Bell is a really nice support move for the team, because Venusaur could get like paralyzed from Klefki, or maybe even burned from something. And Vape could get toxic or burned or anything. So it's just nice for team support there. But yeah, the Spadef is for Torn, and then just a little bit of Fizz Def to help me take some hits. But yeah, this thing is meant to check some of his special attackers, and is a kind of backup check with Vape, because Vape is very pressured this game. It's going to be checking a lot of stuff. So yeah, here's the set here. I'll just whip it out now. Protect, Surf, Wish, and Roar. Leftovers on this as well as on my Tochkis. So this set is meant to check Garchomp. Originally I had Necrozma on this team to help me check Garchomp. It was also my Stealth Rocker, but I feel like Necrozma just didn't do a whole lot for me besides checking Garchomp, which even then, it's a pretty good check to it because it can take its hits pretty well. I was really bulky Necro, I had HP Ice too, so it was a good check to Garchomp. If I get a little damage and a +2 EQ could knock me out, so I mean, same with Vaporeon, to be fair, but I feel like Necro just wasn't great and really didn't do too much in this game, not as much as I thought it did, and didn't really check Mew, because if he's set up variant, I can't really do a whole lot versus him. But Vape here can at least Roar Mew, and until he's the last Mon, can at least stop Mew from just setting up and sweeping, so that's really nice. Wish Pass is really cool into stuff like Venusaur, because I'm not running Synthesis on Venu, as well as Snorlax, no Recycle there, and maybe into these last 2 Mons, or even just to pivot into Tochkis. Wish is really nice. I'm running, yeah, Wish Protect is there just so that well, okay, I'm gonna be really pressured with Vape this game, so I need to make sure I can heal safely, and even though it is taking up that move slot, I feel like Protect is worth it, because it can also allow me to scout for things and allow me to get some more lefties health back, which can make it harder for him to net some 2KOs with stuff like Offensive Pelipper or Garchomp and Mega Swampert and stuff like that. Enough Fizz Def so I can take, I think, 2 Earthquakes from a non-boosting Garchomp after Rocks, and that is including my leftovers. So that's pretty nice, but Roars can just allow me to face his team out, and 5 Rocks up, and that's pretty cool, because then stuff will be getting chipped down. Next we got Infernape, Rocks, Mach, Flare Blitz, U-Turn, Fire BMZ, Max Speed, Jolly Day, Speed Tie, Galvantula, and Klefki. Don't expect I keep mixing up Klefki and Keldeo. No speed to outspeed, or to Speed Tie, Keldeo and Galvantula. Keldeo I don't really expect, but Galv I do want to Speed Tie if he brings it. And if he is max speed, but if he's not, then I can outspeed him, which is cool. But this thing's meant to come in on Klefki, and then I can just pivot, as he's most likely going to switch. So I'm just going to go for my nice U-turn, as he most likely switches, and then that allows me to just pivot, and then bring in something like Vaporeon, depending on what he brings in, like probably Pelipper. And I can just pivot around his team, just get some chip damage on stuff, and then that's really cool. I do have a bit of, not Volt Turn, I guess just double turn core with my Ape and Solgar right here. You'll see my Solgar set in just a second. But this set's mainly meant to get up Rocks. Mach Punch is there so I can check a Salac Berry, Garchomp, I guess also Scarf Chomp, but I think he'll be SD, and Salac Berry is very scary. I think he'll either be Life Orb or Salic, maybe Yachty, that's also possible. But his Z move user is now Mew, by the way. Originally, Seb drafted this team and chose Garchomp as a Z user, but Mew is now, and I feel like Mew isn't a great Z move user this game, so I feel like he'll just be running lefties. So that's kind of helpful. They don't have to worry about Z moves a whole lot this game. Mew still could run one, but I think lefties are just very helpful, especially on a bulky Mew set. But this Ape's just a nice pivot and can get up rocks. Flare Blitz hits stuff like Klefki just in case if I need a way to break through that and kill it, because Klefki is annoying, and I might need to just kill it. It allows me to also hit Tangrowth and stuff, and does good damage to Mew, and with the Fiery MZ, that also allows me to potentially just knock out Mew or get off a lot of damage on Mew. I thought about Endeavor on this set, and I wanted it, but I feel like I needed Mach Punch in case if he was Salic Berry Garchomp, because that could be really, really scary for my team. Let's move on to my Selgor. So Bug Buzz, HP Electric, Encore, and U-Turn, holding a Focus Sash. So originally this was, it had Infestation and Final Gambit in those last two slots, and this was a lead to trap and kill most likely Klefki or maybe Pelipper, and it was kind of cool, but as I was going through mocks and realizing what I feel like I wanted to do with this team, I think a Selgor was better in the back, and then I did end up taking a Selgor off this team for a bit, but then I realized, no, like I put another set on. I put a cool Zygarde set. I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about that Zygarde set because I'm not bringing it, and I could bring a similar idea in future week. But this is Selgor set. It's mainly meant to check Mew, also as well as the Sash could help me check other stuff. But I can switch into Mew as he goes for hopefully Calm Mind or Sub or maybe Roost or hopefully not Taunt. But if he does, I can just Bug Buzz, which is cool. I still do a lot. But if he goes for Calm Mind, I can just Encore him right into that, and then he probably is going to have to switch, so I can just U-turn, and then pivot, and it's cool. HP Electric is there for Pelipper, because I really don't have a whole lot to pressure it on this team. I mean, like, Snorlax can, but Ape doesn't have Thunder Punch to hit it, and, I mean, Vape can whittle it down, and if I can Toxic him, that's really cool. But I don't have a whole lot to hit Pelipper, so I feel like I need HP Electric on this to help me hit Pelipper. And then Bug Buzz is good versus most other things, and then if I don't hit anything with those two moves, U-turn should be able to do the job to allow me to pivot into something else. Enough speed outspeed a max speed timid Scarfed Pelipper. I don't think it'll be max speed timid if he is Scarfed, but just in case, I want to make sure I outspeed Pelipper. I don't need the bulk too much. It could help me to take Side Shocks from you, but hopefully I can just switch in on a Calm Mind or Sub or Roost or something, and then Encore him into that, or maybe even a Willow, or a knockoff even. I'll be okay with that. But I do expect Calm Mind Mew, which is very spooky this game, and he's got a lot of spooky things, a lot of scary things. The Rain Core, I think I can deal with, kind of, but Mew just makes this game a lot scarier and a lot more difficult, because what normally checks the Mons, and what normally checks a Rain team from him, it then kind of loses to Mew, so I also need to make sure I have stuff in the back for Mew, like my Selgor, not Ninjask, Selgor, and my Snorlax. Those two things are meant for Mew, and can hopefully keep Mew in check and not allow me to just lose to Mew. But we will see. I've not done the battle yet. So far every week I've been doing the team builders before I do the battle. I'm going to be doing another live com, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm excited for this battle. I will see you guys for the battle tomorrow. It will go up. It's going to be a live com. It's going to be cool. And hoping that this is a good one.